Hey there, welcome to my studio here in New York City. I'm Daniel Norton here with Cadence. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about a quick way to kind of change up the color of the background, the color tone I should say. We've talked before about the inverse square law and how you can separate the background and foreground light. I've done that here. I have my softbox here in the front, which is going to light Cadence, and I have another light in the background that's for the background. So let me show you how that basically works, then we'll start messing around with color. So if you come forward a little bit more, right there, okay? I'm going to turn off the background light for now. My foreground light I'm putting in TTL, which is through the lens metering. Give me the proper exposure. I'm establishing that. Okay, so we can see we have a nice dark gray background. You could get it all the way black if you really tweaked it out, but this is fine. It's good enough for this. Then I'm going to take this light and I'm going to actually switch it to manual, and I'm going to turn the B light on. I just got that one turned up more or less like 80% up. Actually, I can look at it right there. I'm at 60, actually, I'm at 60, or 6 rather. So I'm less than I thought I was going to be. That's going to give me a whitish background. Now, I don't want a stark white background here, because if I do, when I have the color hit it, it won't do anything, right? But you can see that they're separate. Like if I were to shoot without the A light on, we'll just get a silhouette, more or less, right? I mean, there's a little detail in there, but we're basically getting a silhouette. Now, what we can do is we can use color temperature to change this up. Sure, I could throw a light on the background, but what if my background is being lit by multiple light sources? Let's say I had 3 or 4 lights back there lighting it up, and I wanted them all to have like a cool tone to them. Instead of putting a gel on each one of those lights, I can gel my main light instead and then change the white balance of my camera. So I'm going to take this color temperature orange gel, so CTO, which sets the color temperature of this light to basically tungsten. Now there's different levels of this. This is full, which, as I said, sets it to tungsten, but you can get quarter, half, eighth if you just want to make it a slight variation. So now with this gel on it, it's going to affect my exposure. So the first thing I want to do is come back here, turn my B light off again, turn that A light back on, and I'm going to put it back in TTL to get a better exposure. I'm also going to come to my camera and I'm going to set my white balance to what's called incandescent in a Nikon, and we'll take a shot in TTL. This should give us, again, a shot that looks properly exposed with a dark background. Again, I'm just looking at capture one, going by what I feel like has the right vibe. When you add color to something, you want to go a little bit darker because you want that saturation to come in. If I blow her skin out, we're not going to see the color. So she's got nice, slight warmth to her skin because of the way the camera's set and everything. And now I'm going to light up the background. Now, if I just turn the background light on, which is what I'm going to do, we will see that our background now has a cool bluish tone. And the reason for that is because this light is flash white balance, right? Flash white balance is about 5,600 Kelvin. Incandescent is about 3,200. That difference is making that light in the back seem cool. And again, with one single light source, it might be easy enough just to throw a gel on that background light, but if you are going to use multiple sources, this can be a quick way to change it up. You can do it, generally you can white balance away obviously your warm to cool, and you can do a little bit with green and magenta as well if you wanted to do like a little bit off. Like I could put a little bit of magenta on this flash, for instance, and then kind of do a little green in the camera to offset it. That requires a little experimentation, but that does work, and that will add a little bit more kind of organic feel to your light. Of course, we could do the opposite if we wanted the background to be warm and her to be cool, but that's not typically what you're going to want for a portrait, but let's do it anyways. Right? If we take this, I'm just going to take the gel holder off this light. Again, it has a full color temperature orange gel inside of it. I'm going to put it on the background light, which is now making our background light warm. And the first thing I'll do is I'll just leave everything the way it is. What's going to happen is, actually, I'm going to switch to TTL. I'm just going to let because I know my exposure is going to need adjustment. Okay. Wow, that's actually kind of interesting. Okay, she's very blue. The background's a little warm. The whole exposure is a tiny bit dark. I'm just going to switch to manual. And I'm going to effectively move both lights up 2 stops to give us this kind of washy blue light on her skin with contrast to the warm. It actually is kind of interesting, right? I'm going to bring the power down, the lights down a little bit. Again, this is to taste. I feel like in this one, I want to go a little bit brighter because I feel like the bright on her skin makes it kind of more surreal, almost ghost-like. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? So now we've got the opposite, right? We've got cool on the skin, we've got warm in the background, but really we want to correct that, right? So let's come in here and let's go back to flash white balance. And let's take a shot that way. And what we should get is a very warm background and more or less neutral light on her. So if we want that warm with neutral, or if we want the cool with neutral, we can get either one with the same setup. Again, the advantage here is that if you've got just one key light, but you got a bunch of background lights, you can just change the gel on the key light to get either effect really if you had two different color gels. Okay, so I will put Cadence's information in the description. You guys can follow her. You can follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to put them below in the comments, and I'll see you soon.